Hello everyone. I wanted to go ahead and show you a new tool that has been added to Google Classroom that I personally am really excited about because it involves data and reading, two of my favorite things. So as you can see in front of you, I've gone ahead and created a base assignment. It has an attachment, a description, a title, all of the information on the right-hand side has been filled out. I've gone ahead and added learning goals, which is also something new. You can go ahead and find your Washington State standards through here. That's not the point of this video, but it is something cool. And I've gone ahead and I've created a rubric using those learning goals. So that aside, the new tool that I actually want to show you is down under Attach, and it's called Read Along. What this is it's basically a tool used to help gauge reading fluency. So I've gone ahead and I already have a little passage that I've uploaded. So this is what the beginning portal looks like. I can go ahead and I can customize it. I can look for learning materials based off of either the grade level or the Lexile. If we go with Lexile, you have the Lexile measurements. You have the language, category, show learning materials if you want there to be learning materials along with it. So they already have a slew of reading materials for you to use to work on fluency, or you can go ahead and you can add your own. I haven't dabbled much with the Write with AI, but add is where I went and previously uploaded some material that I wanted to test on. So it's now under my content once I've uploaded it and it has been converted into the file type that it needs. It will stay in your my content. And the one that I want is actually called Ben's First Day. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. I believe it shows me a preview. Yep. Ben's First Day. If I turn the page with this little arrow, it shows the story. Good. It came out right. I'm going to go ahead and I can change the model and I can have it read silent. So they can answer comprehension questions based on the passage that they've read silently to themselves. They can read it aloud, and this will be where we collect data, or they can just listen to it being read, again, working for that comprehension and not so much the data itself. Again, because I love data, I'm going with the read along, aloud. I'm going to click done, and then I will click attach. So now that's attaching it to my assignment. The thing to keep in mind is if you add text under the add new, it can take up to an hour for I believe it's Gemini working on the back end of this to convert it into this interactive kind of lesson. So just keep that in mind. This isn't something you want to do last minute. This passage is really short and it took, I believe, about 15 minutes for it to code it and convert it and all of that stuff for that interactive engagement portion of it. So once I've gone ahead and done that, everything's good. I'm going to go ahead and click assign. Okay, it's yelling at me because we haven't started first quarter yet. Going to go ahead and click assign anyway. Okay, and just like that, for now, that's all we need to do on the teacher side. I'm going to go ahead and switch gears over to the student side so you can see what it would look like for students. Okay, so now I'm in my student dashboard for Google Classroom. I'm going to go to classwork, and there's this assignment. If we scroll down under your work, it shows Ben's First Day. So let's go ahead and view that as the student. So we have Ben's First Day. Let's start it.
Let's read. Ben's First Day.
Ben is going to school. He has a blue backpack. In his backpack, Ben has a book, a snack, and a red crayon. Ben walks into his classroom. His teacher says, "Good morning, Ben." Ben hung up his backpack. He then sat on the rug with his new friend. They sing a song and read a funny book about a duck. Ben smiles. School is fun.
Great reading. That was fast.
Once the students completed the interactive portion of it, the read along part, they have the option to go ahead and turn it in. The one thing to note that I didn't display very well because my brain wasn't thinking of it is if there's a word that a student is struggling with, they can click on it and the computer will read it to them and then allow them to continue on. And that's part of the data that's actually pulled as students are going through doing this fluency comprehension. So now the students' portion of the assignment is done. Let's switch back over to teacher mode. So in the assignment, I'm going to go ahead and click review work. And this will show me who has it done, all of that fun stuff. So here is the dashboard for the data for this assignment's read along. We have the option to look at all students, and this is really cool because it'll go ahead and it'll give us a breakdown of all of the statistics. So accuracy, it would show us where each of our needs are. It goes ahead, and this one probably is my favorite. It'll show words that regularly were missed by students. So if we're introducing a new concept like letter sounds or letter combination sounds, we can see if that's bothering them or if certain letter combinations are really a struggle, so that we can support them better in those specific categories. Then we can go ahead and we can look at the specific student breakdown, and this is where a lot more data comes in. So we can see that Ben's first day is actually 66 words. Of those 66 words, I only read about 61 of them correctly by myself. If I had clicked on a word and gotten it right, that would have counted towards words within app help. If I had clicked on it and not read it correctly, I believe it would have gone under incorrect read. And then if I didn't finish the assignment, it would give me a count of how many words I did not do. This is where you can see the individualized words that need practice for each student. So I purposefully messed up friends, hangs, and sits. I removed the S's from the end of all of those. So something very subtle, but it did pick up on it. And then if there had been learning material, that's where some of this breakdown would have been to help, I believe, build comprehension further. And then your overall progress, it has a breakdown of my accuracy. I was at 92%. Assignment completion, I read the entire thing through, and my words per minute were 83 words per minute. I can go ahead and I can see all of this data here. And this is actually a really cool thing. So previously, I had read this assignment in a different assignment. So this is actually a clone. And I didn't realize this. It went ahead and it took the data from the previous completion of it and it stored it. So previously, I had a reading speed of 44. This time around, my reading speed was 122. That's where my average reading speed of 83 came from. So that's actually something I didn't know. This tool is relatively new, so it's kind of a learning curve for me. But it's really neat that it gauges it, even though this is a different assignment, because it's the same reading data, the same reading material. It gauged that and it kept it together. So yeah, that's kind of a breakdown. Again, I'm really excited about this because if we have a student that misses when we do fluency or doesn't feel comfortable reading to an adult or whatever the issue may be, this is a really cool alternative that really makes the technology work for us because at the end of the day, it's about getting these small little mundane remedial tasks done. And I know all of us have a billion things on our plate. So this is just a really cool tool that I was excited to share with you all. Please let me know if you have any questions. If I find reading materials on it, I will 100% send it your way. And this isn't something that I could see being used just in the elementary. For any of our students that might need a little extra help or intervention, this is 100% a tool that could be used to kind of help with comprehension or accuracy and just kind of giving us another avenue of data on how we can best serve students. So I hope you found this as interesting as I did. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, happy learning.